Hi, I'm Barry Stewart Mann, actor, storyteller, and teaching artist based in Atlanta. And just like you, I've had to shift my practice, be more creative, and try some experiments during these unusual times. Both pre-recording and live streaming storytelling performances, curriculum-based lessons for classes, students, and campers, and arts-based tutorials for parents and teachers. I would love to continue exploring and to support you, teachers, parents, librarians, and administrators, as you continue to strive to find the best ways to serve your students and your patrons. So here is a sampling of excerpts from my virtual offerings, performances, and lessons from the spring and summer of 2020. Enjoy. And I'm here today to talk about that book, The Greedy Triangle. I hope you had a chance to look at it, maybe do the activity that went with it, about finding some of the two-dimensional figures from the book around your home and seeing about doing pantomime, pretending you're holding or touching or feeling them to understand those shapes. So we're going to do a little bit more with that, but we're going to expand from two-dimensional to three-dimensional figures, okay? Now here's that little graphic you might have seen in the other activity, and this is a graphic that shows a bunch of two-dimensional figures that are in the book, The Greedy Triangle. You can see it expands outward from the triangle to the square to the pentagon to the hexagon to the heptagon to the octagon. They're about biodiversity. You probably know what that is. Bio means life, as in biology, and diversity means variety, a variety of a lot of different things. We talk about diversity in people, but biodiversity refers to a lot of different living things living together in an ecosystem or a habitat. I have those words up here. Habitat means a place where organisms live, where living things live. Ecosystem is like habitat, but it kind of suggests a little bit more that we think about all the different connections, the system that is in an environment of the things living together. And the last one, organism, is a word that means a living thing. Now, hopefully you had a chance to read The Great Kapok Tree. Listen to the waves! It's glorious! My name is William Clark. I am an explorer. I am a very adventurous person. Oh, this is amazing. We have finally arrived at last where we have been wanting to come for over a year and a half. It is the Pacific Ocean. The waves are crashing everywhere. We've been so anxious to come here since we left Missouri more than a year and a half ago. It's called Fractured Fairy Tales. Now, you probably know some fairy tales. You might know Sleeping Beauty, or Goldilocks, or Cinderella, or The Frog Prince. Well, there are a lot of fairy tales, and they're lots and lots of fun. A fractured fairy tale is when you take a familiar fairy tale and change it. Add your imagination to make it your own story that is a lot like the original, but different in strange and sometimes very fun ways. So let me give you a couple of examples. Here are two fairy tales you might know. There's Little Red Riding Hood and Jack and the Beanstalk. Now our third one was the butterfly. What do you think the butterfly's voice sounds like? I think butterflies are pretty quiet, don't you? But if they had a voice, what would it sound like? Maybe quiet? Maybe whispery? Maybe kind of high like this? Do you think a butterfly might sound like this or like this? Ooh, lots of different voices. You can do whatever voice you want, and I'll do the voice the way I want to. Okay? So those are the voices we're going to use. Now, I've made up a story, and I want you to watch the story, and I'll be using the voices. But to do the story in the shadow, I've got to turn the lights out again. 3, 2, 1. It's dark again, and now it's time for our shadow puppet story. The story of the horse, the coyote, and the butterfly. Once upon a time, there was a farm. And the farm stretched out, the land stretched out, and there was a horse that would go walking out to the edge of the land where there was a little hill, and the horse would look off into the distance, and the horse heard a sound, "Ow!" And today I have a brain spark from the world of drama. It's an activity, a strategy called statues. And it's very simple. It's really becoming a statue, being absolutely still. But there are a couple of things that are involved in making our statues good. Okay? And fourth, slightly exaggerate. Make it a little bit bigger so it will be a little bit clearer, especially in moments of contact and release, when you are making contact with an object and then when you are letting go of it. Let's see how this works in practice. Now, there's a classical mime activity that first comes to mind. You might know it. It's the wall. Just watch me for a second. In front of me. So you can see I imagined it. I didn't have to think about the weight of it, but certainly the shape. I had to make sure that my hands were flat on the surface. They couldn't be like this, not a rubber wall, but a nice flat wall in front of me. Okay? When I took my hand off the wall, I let my hand have life, and I was very clear when I made contact with the wall. When working with students in dramatic writing, I suggest that you have them align the text to the left margin, to put the character name there on the margin followed by those two dots, the colon, to put any stage directions in parentheses, and to make sure to skip a line in between different character speeches. So here's an example. On the left, you will see the template. That is what the format looks like, with dialogue and stage directions and character names. And on the right, just a simple scene between two characters on a playground. Again, you have the characters, the setting, you have the dialogue with the stage directions inserted. And today I want to share with you a drama strategy that can be useful in the actual classroom, in the virtual classroom, and at home as well. It's called tableau. Now, tableau is a French word, and in French, tableau actually means a board, like a bulletin board or a chalkboard or a dry erase board. But in English, tableau has a different meaning. In drama, tableau means a frozen picture made by actors. Now, this sounds simple enough, just having actors freeze into poses. And if you're familiar with the drama strategy called statues, you know that a tableau is really just made up of a group of statues. Although to really be a tableau, the statues should be connected with each other, integrated to form a cohesive image. Now, just like in statues, tableau offers students a wonderful opportunity through the stillness and silence. Oftentimes, students are being asked to be still, to sit down, to be quiet, to keep their hands to themselves. And tableau turns stillness and silence into a positive activity, into a skill, into something that children can do. And it gives them a wonderful chance, especially in a group, to collaborate, to be still and silent together. Wow! You just burned down 7 forests!
Yes, I did.
Well, tell me, Dragon, could you burn down even more?
Well, I suppose I can.
And so he did. He used all of his fire, and so Paco took the cord of the cow, and he led the cow towards the city. But along the way, he met a strange little man.
Ay, niño, ¿qué pasa? ¿Dónde vas tan triste? Oh, little boy, where are you going so sad?
And Paco told this man, with his strange long beard and his walking stick and his funny way of talking, Paco told him, I am going to the market to sell the cow. And the old man said, Oh, yo quiero una vaca. I want a cow. I will buy it from you. Yo tengo un costal de semillas de chiles mágicas
Here is a little bag of magic chile seeds. I will give it to you for the cow.
And Hermit Crab thought the sea anemone was beautiful. So he said, I'm going to say this, and then I want you to say it after me. Sea anemone,
The anemone,
you're so beautiful.
you're so beautiful.
Would you come and decorate my house?
Would you come and decorate my house?
And the sea anemone said, I would love to. Let me hear you say that.
I would love to.
So Hermit Crab took the sea anemone and placed it on his house. And so, farewell. And with that, Narcissus died. And they say that the following year, in the spot where he died, a beautiful flower grew up, as beautiful as that young man Narcissus. But it grows by the sides of rivers and ponds to remind us of that young man who could only care about himself and his own beauty. And ever since then, when we meet someone who only cares about themselves, we call that person a narcissist. Can you say that? Narcissist. We say they suffer from narcissism, and they are narcissistic. Exactly. And ever since then, anytime you call out into a big empty space, hello, you hear your voice bounce back. Oh, the science teachers say that it's sound waves bouncing off walls, but the ancient Greeks would say no, it's that sad girl Echo, waiting quietly in a cave, waiting for someone else to speak so that she can repeat the last part of what they say.